Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Philosophies for Life, the podcast where we dive deep into ancient wisdom and modern insights to help you craft a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment. I'm your host, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today as we explore a figure whose name you might remember from high school geometry class, but whose wisdom goes far beyond triangles and theorems. Today, we're talking about Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher, mathematician, and mystic, and how his teachings can inspire us to find balance in mindful living and financial planning. Yes, you heard that right. Pythagoras isn't just about the hypotenuse. He's got lessons that can help us harmonize our inner world and our bank accounts. So why Pythagoras? Why does a guy who lived over 2,500 years ago matter to us in our fast-paced, tech-driven, often chaotic modern lives? Well, Pythagoras wasn't just a numbers guy. He was a deep thinker who believed in the interconnectedness of all things: body, mind, soul, and even the cosmos. He founded a community in ancient Greece that was all about living in harmony, practicing self-discipline, and seeking wisdom through balance. His philosophy wasn't just theoretical, it was a way of life. And in a world where we're constantly juggling mental health, financial stress, and the search for meaning, Pythagoras offers us timeless principles to create equilibrium. So, grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's uncover how this ancient sage can guide us to live more mindfully and plan our finances with purpose. Let's start by diving into some of Pythagoras's most profound ideas and teachings. While he didn't leave behind personal writings, most of what we know comes from his followers. His wisdom has been passed down through the ages. One of the core concepts attributed to Pythagoras is the idea of harmony. He believed that the universe itself operated on a kind of cosmic harmony, a balance of numbers and proportions that could be observed in music, nature, and even human behavior. He's often quoted as saying, "All is number," meaning that everything in life can be understood through patterns and balance. Think about that for a second. Everything, from the stars in the sky to the rhythm of your heartbeat, follows a kind of mathematical order. Isn't that mind-blowing? Another powerful idea from Pythagoras is tied to mindful living. He taught his followers to practice silence and self-reflection daily. One of his sayings, passed down through his students, is, "Do not say a little in many words, but a great deal in a few." This speaks to the power of intentionality, being mindful about what we say, think, and do. Pythagoras believed that a cluttered mind, much like a cluttered life, disrupts our inner peace. He encouraged his community to meditate, to listen to music for spiritual healing, and to live simply, avoiding excess in food, possessions, or emotions. And here's a gem that ties directly to balance in both life and finances. Pythagoras is said to have advised, "Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body." While he valued physical health, his community followed strict diets and exercise routines. He placed greater emphasis on inner strength, on cultivating a soul that could withstand life's storms. This idea of prioritizing inner wealth over external riches is something we'll unpack more as we talk about financial planning through his lens. Now, let's add another layer to this. Pythagoras was fascinated by the concept of the golden mean, a principle later expanded by philosophers like Aristotle, but rooted in Pythagorean thought. The golden mean is about finding the middle path, avoiding extremes, and striving for balance in all things. Whether it's how much you eat, how much you work, or how much you spend, Pythagoras would argue that moderation is the key to a harmonious life. Imagine him sitting with us today saying, "Hey, don't burn yourself out chasing money, but don't neglect your needs either. Find the sweet spot." Let's reflect on these teachings philosophically for a moment. The idea of all is number isn't just about math, it's a metaphor for order and balance in life. Think about your own life right now. Are there areas where things feel out of whack? Maybe you're overworking and neglecting your mental health, or perhaps you're overspending and feeling the stress of financial instability. Pythagoras reminds us that life is like a musical scale. When the notes are out of tune, the melody falls apart. But when you find the right balance, everything flows in harmony. This ties into spirituality, too. For Pythagoras, numbers weren't just tools, they were sacred. He saw the divine in the patterns of the universe. So, when we seek balance in our lives, we're not just organizing our schedules or budgets, we're aligning ourselves with a greater cosmic order. That's powerful, isn't it? When it comes to mental and emotional well-being, Pythagoras' emphasis on silence and reflection feels like a balm for our overstimulated souls. We live in a world of constant noise, social media notifications, endless to-do lists, and the pressure to always be on. But Pythagoras would say, pause, be still, listen to the quiet within. His practice of daily reflection was a way to declutter the mind, to let go of negativity, and to focus on what truly matters. It's almost like he was prescribing mindfulness before it became a buzzword. And let's be honest, who among us couldn't use a little more of that? On the financial front, the golden mean offers a profound lesson. In our consumer-driven society, it's easy to swing between extremes, either hoarding every penny out of fear or spending recklessly to fill an emotional void. Pythagoras' philosophy challenges us to find balance in our relationship with money. It's not about rejecting wealth or demonizing material things. It's about understanding that money is a tool, not the ultimate goal. True wealth, as he might argue, lies in a strong soul, a life rich in purpose, relationships, and inner peace. So, how do we take these ancient ideas and make them actionable in our modern lives? Let's break this down into practical lessons inspired by Pythagoras, starting with mindful living. First, carve out time for silence and reflection every day. I'm not saying you need to meditate for hours. Start with just 5 minutes. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what's weighing on my mind? What can I let go of? This simple practice, rooted in Pythagorean thought, can help you declutter mentally and emotionally. It's like hitting the reset button on your soul. I've started doing this myself every morning, and I can't tell you how much clearer I feel. It's like I'm tuning my inner instrument to play a better song for the day. Second, embrace the golden mean in your daily choices. Whether it's how much time you spend working versus resting, or how much energy you give to others versus yourself, aim for balance. Let's get real for a second. How many of us have said yes to things we didn't want to do, just to please someone else, and ended up burned out? I've been there. But Pythagoras would nudge us to find the middle path. Say yes when it aligns with your values, but don't be afraid to say no when you need to protect your peace. Balance isn't just a nice idea, it's a survival skill. Now, let's talk financial planning through a Pythagorean lens. First, apply the principle of moderation to your spending and saving. Take a hard look at your budget. Where are you swinging to extremes? Are you overspending on things that don't truly matter, like impulse buys or keeping up with trends? Or are you so frugal that you're denying yourself small joys that could enrich your life? Pythagoras would encourage you to find that golden mean. Create a budget that allows for both security and enjoyment. Maybe it's setting aside a percentage of your income for savings while also allocating a small harmony fund for things that bring you joy, like a weekend getaway or a good book. Balance, my friends, is the name of the game. Another financial lesson from Pythagoras is to prioritize inner wealth over external riches. Ask yourself, why am I chasing this money goal? Is it to feel secure, to provide for my family, or is it to prove something to others? If it's the latter, take a step back. Pythagoras would remind us that a strong soul built on integrity, gratitude, and purpose is worth more than a fat bank account. So, as you plan your finances, focus on goals that align with your deeper values. Maybe that means saving for experiences rather than things, or investing in education or personal growth. I remember a time when I was obsessed with earning more just to look successful. But when I shifted my focus to financial goals that supported my true passions like funding this podcast to inspire others, I felt a sense of harmony I hadn't before. Lastly, let's borrow Pythagoras' love for patterns and order to organize our financial lives. Just as he saw numbers as the foundation of the universe, think of your finances as a system that needs structure. Set up automatic savings, track your expenses, and review your financial harmony monthly. I started using a simple app to monitor my spending, and it's been a game changer. It's like creating a musical scale for my money. Each note, or dollar, has its place, and when it's in tune, I feel at peace. As we wrap up this journey with Pythagoras, let's recap the wisdom we've uncovered. We've learned that life is about harmony, finding balance in our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Through his teachings, we're reminded to prioritize inner strength over external gains, to seek silence in a noisy world, and to live with intentionality, whether it's in how we speak or how we spend. We've explored the golden mean as a guide for mindful living and financial planning, encouraging us to avoid extremes and find the middle path that feels right for us. And, most importantly, we've seen that balance isn't just a personal goal, it's a way to align ourselves with the greater order of the universe, to live in tune with something bigger than ourselves. So I want to leave you with a little challenge. This week, take one area of your life, maybe it's your mental health or your finances, and ask yourself, where can I find more balance? Maybe it's setting aside 10 minutes for reflection each day, or reviewing your budget to ensure it reflects your true priorities. Whatever it is, take that small step toward harmony. Remember, as Pythagoras might say, life is a symphony, and you're the composer. Make sure your notes are in tune. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Philosophies for Life. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a message or share your takeaways on social media. And if you're hungry for more ancient wisdom and modern insights, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Until then, keep seeking balance, keep nurturing your soul, and remember that even the smallest steps can lead to the most harmonious life. I'll see you soon, my friends. Take care.